Okay, there we go. So I'm just gonna start over. All right, hello again, everyone. So we're talking about blood sugar balance today, and that's very important when it comes to protein, right? So let's get started and see why that's important. Now, when people think about blood sugar balance, the first thing that normally comes to mind is diabetes, right? You know, people have high blood sugar levels, they become pre-diabetic, then they become diabetic. It can be because of some family history, but that's usually the first thing that people think about when they think about blood sugar balance. But blood sugar balance or blood sugar imbalance can be seen in so many conditions, and I'm going to be listing some of them for you. Okay, so here are some symptoms that you might have if you have blood sugar balance. So one of them is fatigue. One of them could be abdominal fat, or you may have trouble losing weight. Another one could be feeling hungry all the time, having sugar cravings, hair loss, brain fog, difficulty concentrating. You can have skin rashes, blurred vision, headaches, irritability. So you see that there are so many symptoms that can be associated with blood sugar imbalance. And it's really important for us to get this under control. So why is it important? Well, when you have blood sugar imbalance, you can get different conditions. So one of them, like all of us know, is diabetes, right? But other conditions include fatty liver disease, right? There's metabolic syndrome, so that would include cardiovascular disease and high cholesterol. You also have neuropathy, so death of your nerves are dying. You can have kidney failure. You can have increased infections. You can also have cardiovascular disease, or sometimes people develop ulcers in their feet. So you can see that just by having an imbalance in your blood sugar, it can affect so many body systems. And so it's really important for us to make sure that our blood sugar levels are balanced. And one of the ways that we can do that is watching what we eat. So let's talk about three ways that we can start doing, three things we can start doing right now to fix the problem. So one thing that we can do is avoid processed foods and high sugar foods, right? Because those foods will cause our blood sugar levels to be like on a roller coaster, up 1 minute, down the next minute, right? So when we eat those foods, our blood sugar is all over the place. So we want to ensure that we're not eating those foods. So that's number one. Number two is to replace those foods with more whole foods, right? So our fruits, our vegetables, our grains, our legumes, our nuts, and our seeds. And why are those foods important? Because they are full of fiber, right? And fiber is very good because it slows the release of the sugar, right? So we don't want to have those spikes. We want it to be slowly released and slowly enter the cell, right? So those are two things. So the first thing, avoiding processed foods and high sugar foods. The second thing is to ensure that we're eating whole foods, right? Whole plant-based foods, so that our blood sugar levels will be stable. And this is where our protein comes in, because the proteins that we've been showing here are plant-based proteins, and they also have fiber in them. And we know that proteins help with satiety. So that will help to keep you fuller longer and can help to reduce your cravings. And then the third tip that I want to share with you is exercise. Exercise is so beneficial for balancing our blood sugar levels. You know, if you're not able to do 30 minutes, start slow. 5 minutes can be good, build up to 10, build up to 15. But either way, it's important to get our body moving, because as we move, our cells require energy. And then that glucose that's in our blood will go into our cells. And then that way, our blood sugar levels will not be high anymore, but they will steadily come down. So those are 3 tips that I want to share with you today about how to manage your blood sugar levels. And I hope that you will stay until the end because I have two very exciting things to share with you. So I hope you stay to the end. I want to welcome you again to our cook along, and I hope you're excited to get started. We had said that we want to see you in your kitchens today. I don't know how many of you are in your kitchens, but we're ready to get started, right?
Yep, we are.
Okay.
And yeah, we're hoping that you will turn your videos on. I'm just gonna wash my hands.
So we can see your beautiful faces. We can see what you're cooking. There's something in the chat. Let me check. Pleasant good afternoon. Good afternoon, Charlene. Good afternoon, Charlene. Thank you for joining us. And we hope you're ready to cook with us.
All right. So if you remember last week, one of the things that Donisha had mentioned is proper combination so that we can get complete protein. And can anyone tell me what was said about proper combination? Do you remember? Yes? No? All right. No one's talking? Okay. In order for us to have proper, to have complete protein, which would be all the amino acids, the essential amino acids, because they are non-essential ones. And some books will tell you it's 8 and some will say 9. So in order for you to get those amino acids, you need proper combination. And one combination could be whole grain along with your nuts and or your seeds. Or you could have your beans or legumes mixed with your whole grain. So today we're going to do both. We're going to show you 2 protein dishes that you can make that is complete protein. And it is good if you can have your protein dish as a complete protein. And the reason is, I know some of us are from the islands and we may want to eat yam and banana and then dasheen. And to that we will have some lentils or some chickpeas. And something is missing, right? Can anyone tell me what would be missing from that? You have yam and banana, dasheen, and then you have some chickpeas or lentils. What is missing?
If you don't want to unmute, you can always type it in the chat.
What is missing? We're all learning here. Okay, vegetables, yes, we need vegetables for fiber, but we need also something else added to that to make it complete protein. So what's missing?
So you have the legumes,
which is the lentils, and then you have.
What else would you need to make that complete? Yes, the grains.
The grains, that's right. You need the grains. So you cannot then go away from here and have yam, banana, and lentils for dinner. Yes, with the vegetables, but you are not getting complete protein. So that's what we're going to do today. So,
before you move on, so we're not saying if that's all you have, don't eat it, or that it's bad, right? We just want to help you to think about what a complete protein looks like.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we did ask you to get some oats and your favorite nut. So we have the quick oats and you have your nut. My nut of choice is walnut, and I have it already grounded. I did ask you to do that as well. So I'm going to measure 3 cups of oats. And I hope you're doing that too. So
Yeah, we can't see you, but we hope you're doing it.
You need 3 cups of oats. All right, so this is my 3 cups. 3 cups of oats. Did you all get your oats in your bowl? Did you get your oats in your bowl as well? You're allowed to unmute, you don't have to show your faces if you don't want to. We would love to see your faces, but
it's a watch along.
Okay, we're doing a cook along, okay. All right, so I have my oats in my bowl, and I'm gonna assume that you have your oats in your bowl as well. And then I have my nut. Now, for every cup of oats, you need a 1/4 cup of nut, right? So that means I would need 3/4 cups of walnuts. But I also put a little burrata in there. So I put an extra 1/4 cup just to make sure. And I'm going to add that to my oat mixture, my quick oats. And Donisha is gonna mix that nicely for me. Now, for this recipe,
while mommy is getting her things, walnuts are very good for our brain, right? We know a lot of people right now are struggling with, remembering things. People have, dementia. It's good to have some walnuts in your diet. And they have fats as well, omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. Those are really helpful for your nerves. They're good for balancing your hormones. So we really want to ensure that we have healthy fats in our diet all the time.
All right.
And I'm done.
You're done. Yes. Okay. So the next step is that your seasoning, whatever seasoning you like, remember we had asked you to get seasoning of your choice, whatever you have in your kitchen, whatever you use for your family members, that's what you're gonna use. And in my case, I have some onions. So I'm gonna saute my onions. And I cut the onion maybe about 15 minutes before we started. I put in a glass container and I cover it. And you want to do that because onion pulls anything at all that's in the air. It pulls it into itself, and you don't want to pull anything in your food that you really wouldn't want to put in your body. And then I have some garlic. So I'm putting a little bit of garlic in there as well. Yes. And I'm going to just leave that a little bit to start cooking. If you want to use oil, it's up to you, but coconut oil is best for this. We try to use the water because that way we cut back on the use of oil, but also the heat as well. So the oil is not heated. What we recommend is that you add your oil just when you're about to turn your fire off. So if you're making a stew, you would do it with the water, and then just when you're ready to turn the fire off, that's when you add the oil. Turn it off and close it at that time. Then you would not lose the nutrients in the oil as well. Okay. All right. So This will saute for a bit, and I'm going to tell you the other ingredients that I like to add to this particular burger. Of course, I'm going to add some salt. And again, we add good salt. So I'm going to say a teaspoon and a half. Oh no, this is a tablespoon, sorry. A teaspoon and a half of, yes, of salt. Because you have 3 cups of oats in your bowl, you're going to add 3 cups of water to your pan, right? Okay, so I already have 2 there, so you can put that 2 in. I did pour some out for the to start the sauteing. And then you pour another one. So we'll have 3 cups of water, 1 because we have 3 cups of oats over here. So that's 1 and a half. If you like to use Bragg amino acids, this is a good time that you could use it as well. And I'm going to add, if you remember my onion powder that I made from the onion flakes. So I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of onion powder. I'm adding 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. I like to add even a small amount of turmeric to my cooking because it's very good for inflammation. And so if I add a little to everything, then it is helping. It will add up, yeah, and it is helping with my my inflammation level, right? I'm adding a little bit of sage, just a small amount of sage. My go-to seasoning is my my Italian seasoning. I love Italian seasoning, even though one member of my family says, "You want to kill me." They're referring to the the rosemary that's in there because they're pointed and they can't stick you. So as I said, if you have Bragg or if you're someone who uses soy sauce, you can add it to your mixture as well. And then you're going to taste it and ensure that this is the flavor that you want, right? So we're going to cover it and we're going to bring it to a boil. All right. So while that is happening, how far along are you? Did you get to the place where we're at? Talk to us. Did you?
Anybody cooking with us today?
Well, the last thing I see in the chat is the response to the grains. So
okay,
nothing else came in since.
I think they just love watching us.
Oh, you know what I love to add as well, especially to this one, is some yeast flakes. Now, if you have, I'm adding 2 tablespoons. If you have conditions such as candida, or then you might
any fungal condition.
Yeah, those fungal conditions, you would want to leave these flakes out of your cooking, right? But other than that, if you have cancer as well, if you have cancer, then you would want to leave that out as well. But other than that, that's what I usually add, and I bring it to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, remember, I don't have anything in here as yet. It's just my seasoning and the water. Then I'm going to add my mixture of oat and nut. And this burger will be a complete protein. Okay, so while I'm waiting on that, I'm going to put my parchment paper on the tray because we are going to make the burgers. Now, here is something that we use to ensure that we get our burgers nice and round. I got this from the Magic Bullet. The Magic Bullet cover. It comes with different color rings. So I think I had gotten 4 rings. So these are bigger than the other cover that I normally use, and I'll show that to you. The other one that I normally use before I got that was this, which is just a mason jar cover. So this will give you a smaller burger, and this will give you a bigger one, right? So you can choose which size you want to use. Now, if you don't have any of these, what can you do? You can form the burgers in your hand, flatten them, and put them on your parchment paper. Or you can, the other thing that you can do, this is the ring, and this is the lid of the mason, the cover, and it fits in like that. So when you're canning, this is what you would use together to seal the jar. You can use this, or you can use any cover like this with cling wrap or plastic wrap. You put a piece inside of it, you put some oil on that, and then you put your mixture in it, and then you turn it over. I find that I would prefer using my hand than to do that, to be honest, because it takes a lot of time in my estimation. So I'm getting a spoon because I'm gonna taste it to see if mine is boiling. So I'm gonna taste it to see if I need to add more salt. And this will be my tasting spoon.
How is it?
Okay, I think it's nice, but because I'm gonna add the oat and nut to it, I'm gonna add a little bit more salt to it. Because when I add this, then the salt that's there is gonna be absorbed. So I'm just gonna add another ½ teaspoon. Remember, I added 1½ before. So this is an extra ½ a teaspoon. Now that this is boiling, I'm going to add the nut and the oat mixture, and then we're going to mix it properly. I'll turn the fire down so that it's on low and cover it just for a few minutes, and then we will form our burgers. Are you there?
Are you just watching or are you cooking?
Okay. I think they're all shy. Just hold the handle just
They're shy
in case.
today. They're shyer today than last week.
Yeah. And Sister Wilma is not on today, so there's no one talking.
It's okay. They'll start talking soon.
All right. And one nut that, if you use it, is really, really nice is pecan. But I didn't have any pecan today, so you use what you have. So what if you didn't have walnut or you didn't have pecan, but you have peanut butter, and your family loves peanut butter? Then you can use a cup of peanut butter in this mixture. Or you can use some cashews in this mixture, or some almond. So that's what you can do to make the recipe your own, right?
Mhm.
And you don't have to, put your hands on your head and scream, oh, I don't have this. You are using what you have. You're using the nut that your family likes. If you didn't have any nut, but you have some sunflower seeds, you can do the same thing. You can grind it and use it, or some pumpkin seeds. You can use that as well.
Yeah.
All right. So after a minute or two, we're going to take this off and we're going to form our burgers. And I'll show you how we do that.
This there?
Yep. Can they see it?
Yeah, but I think it should, well,
Okay.
it's gonna say it should go in the-
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So the liquid is absorbed, and now you have your mixture for your burgers. If you allow this, you need to allow this to sit until it cools, right? That you can handle it. But if you allow it to sit for too long, then it's going to be very dry. It's gonna get very, very dry because the oat is absorbing all the liquid that's in it. So you don't want to have it too dry in order for you to start working with it. So we're going to, yep. And
We have
Danisha
to
is,
scrape everything off.
oh yeah,
Nothing should go
all
away.
goodness, all the goodness. And if you're following with us, you'll get an idea of what the texture is. So you'll know that when your burger is at this texture, it's going to hold nicely, and it will not fall apart when you bake it. So there you go.
Yeah.
All right. So now I'm gonna remove the stove, and I'm gonna just put this on a, so I'll just put this on the counter here, and we will work with it from here. I'm gonna give Danisha a spoon so that we can work together. So I'm using one, and she'll use one
Yeah.
from the other end. And for this tray, I know that I can get, they're not seeing your side. I know that I can get 3 across here. So I just put them nicely on the tray so that they're, I don't just throw them all over the place. I ensure that they are nicely placed on the tray. All right. So I don't want to go ahead of you if you're cooking with us. So
there's a comment.
There's a comment. I don't know.
I'll read it.
Okay.
I didn't know I could use cashews, so I started cooking something entirely different. Plus doing shake, doing housework. Oh, you're doing housework as well. Is the recipe in the chat or somewhere else?
Okay. Remember that we're cooking without recipe because that's what we want you to do. We want you to learn to prepare your own protein dishes. So what we did, and we understand that you have to multitask, but we used 3 cups of oat, quick oat, 3 cups of water. We sauteed our onions and our garlic. And then we added the seasonings that we like to use, right? And usually the ones you like to use are the ones you will have in your kitchen, right? So that's what we did. So maybe your family is bigger than ours, or one of the things that we normally do when we're making this recipe is that we will make a lot more. So we'll probably do three trays of this recipe, and because it's 1-to-1, remember it's 1 oatmeal to 1 flour, then and quarter cup of nuts to each cup of oatmeal. Then we just increase the oat and increase the nut. So if you put 5 cups of oatmeal, then you need 5 cups of water, and you would need 2.5 cups of nuts or seed, whichever one you are going to use. Please stay close to each other so that it can hold everything.
Leaving lots of space, like I'm thinking the burgers are gonna increase the
That's okay,
size.
because we also do, which we use this very same recipe, and remember we washed our hands already. So we're going to, with what the mixture that's left, yeah, go ahead, do that one. We are going to make some meatballs. So you can use this same recipe to make yourself some meatballs. And then you can have your meatballs with your spaghetti or pasta, or any one of those things that you like to have your meatballs with. Or you can just have your meatballs with some stew. Wow. Mine looks so much different from hers.
Hers looks so much neater. I'm gonna show you so you can inspect my work. Oh, the tray is hot. Can you see? So this side is my mom's. You see how perfectly round they look?
Yeah.
And this side is mine. Not very level or perfect at all.
We'll not hold it against her.
But I'm gonna tell you, these oat burgers, they are so good and they're so filling. Like I can only eat 2. They are so filling, so good, full of protein. Remember, the oats have fiber, the walnuts have fiber as well, right? So it's a very good meal. Or
So, excuse me, we can use, sorry for coming in late, I had something I had to take care of. So I heard you say, Rosetta, 1 for each cup of oats. Did you say oatmeal? Does that mean I have to blend the oats?
No, it's quick oats, sorry. It's quick oats that we use.
So for each cup of oats, I have 1/4 of a cup of nuts, but I don't use nuts, so I can use seeds?
Yes, and the same amount of seed.
Okay.
All right, so I'm just gonna show you, if you don't have this, and you don't have this,
the mason jar lid,
which is the mason jar lid, then you can just get the put the burger in your hand, form it into a round enough ball, and then you just press it down and keep it round. And all you have to do is ensure that all the burgers are the same size, so they're the same thickness. All right, so that's how you would do if you're making it with your hand. And then I just take it out and put it on my tray, right? I'm not gonna put this on the tray because I want to use it to make a meatball. So the mixture that's left, we're making meatballs. And it's the same thing. You make it into a circle, and a nice round circle, and then I just put it in the tray. And like those big spaces that she left, I just drop one right in between those spaces. I just drop one in those spaces because, as I said, in most cases, I make enough to freeze so that next week, one day, I don't have to I don't have to make any more burgers. I have burgers already in the freezer. And any type of burger I'm making, I usually make a little bit of meatballs with it. So I hope you are getting the gist of what we're doing, and I hope that you're all cooking with us and you're not doing
The
what?
cook along.
A watch
This is
along.
not a watch along, it's a cook along. Cook along.
Yes. Okay. So there's just enough left for one more meatball. And of course, we
Use everything.
use everything. We scrape everything from the pot so that nothing is going to waste. So I'm just gonna repeat what we did. We used 3 cups of water. We use a little bit of the water to saute the onions and the garlic. Then we added our seasonings to that, or seasoning of our choice, or salt. We added salt, sage, a little bit of turmeric for inflammation, because food should be our medicine. Then we mixed our 3 cups of oats with the 1 cup of mixed nut, of grounded nut. In this case, I use 1 cup because I wanted a little extra. And then we added our water to the seasoning, or water to the sauteed seasoning, and bring it to a boil. Then we add our dried mixture to that, stir it a little bit, let it sit for about 2 or so minutes, and then we make the burgers. If you allow this particular mixture to sit for too long, it's going to be too hard for you to form into burgers. And then we will stick that in the oven.
Yes, so while she's, you want me to start the oven? So 350?
Yeah.
350, and for how long?
So it's 350. This is the next thing, because 15 minutes. I don't like my burgers very crispy, but my husband likes his burgers very crispy. So in my case, I do 15 minutes, and then I turn them over and do another 10 minutes. For my husband, I allow his to go longer because he likes his burgers very crispy. I don't.
So how many of you like burgers? I can't wait to see or to hear what.
Yes, because we would love to see the pictures of what your burgers
Of
look
your
like.
burgers. Or your imaginary burgers.
Yes, of what they look like.
Look at the time we have.
All
to
right,
make
okay,
this
we'll
video.
hurry up. Okay, so I'm using my same bowl, and we're going to do the next burger. And this one is a chickpea burger. Now remember, we need to have whole grain and nuts or seed, or whole grain and legumes, in order for us to have complete protein. So this is my chickpea that I put it in the food processor. But if you don't have a food processor, no problem. You just use a fork and mash your chickpea. That's all you need to do. Use a fork and mash your chickpea. If they were in the freezer, you could probably put some hot water on it, because it will be easier to mash in that way. Then I have, so did you get your chickpea?
Or whatever bean you like.
Or whatever bean you like, if you didn't have chickpea. Then to that, I'm going to add some millet. This is cooked millet. If you don't have millet, you could add quinoa, you could add brown rice. As long as it's whole grain, you can add that to your mixture. So I'm adding that to my mixture. I am also adding, you need a bigger, I think you'll need a bigger.
I'm here thinking I don't want to make a mess. Not when people are watching.
Okay, well, the reason I was using that is because it's, because you could see what we're doing.
I'll show you
But-
before we put it in.
Yeah.
So chickpea and millet.
So that's chickpea and millet. And to that, we're going to add some onions that we've chopped. Would you prefer a spoon? Maybe a spoon.
Yes.
Do a better job.
Am I adding all the onion?
Yep. All the onions and all the garlic.
This onion is very strong,
Which is
good.
which is good.
Imagine if you're cutting an onion and it has no smell.
I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of salt, and chickpea will absorb the salt, so I might still need to add some more. And I'm gonna add the garlic. I'm adding my onion powder, and remember, my onion powder is anti-caked because of the because I blended it myself. I'm going to add a little bit of garlic powder as well. That's 1 teaspoon of garlic powder.
Mhm.
And this time I'm going to add some marjoram. Marjoram is one of those herbs that not a lot of people would buy, but at least this time my daughter will not say that I'm going to kill her. Again, I'm adding a little bit of turmeric for inflammation. Okay. And something that I forgot is
This is gonna be a yellow bird. Oh, you can kind of see. I'll show you.
I'm trying to find my garam masala. Did I put it over there? Oh no.
No, it's not.
Garam masala it brings out the flavor in lentils and chickpea. You have to use a small amount. So I'm using about a 1/4 teaspoon. Okay. And then you need to have your wet ingredients. So here I have, this is, we cooked some broccoli, cauliflower, and carrots, some vegetables. So this is just some vegetable water. You can have a nut, you can use a nut milk if you want, that's unsweetened and no vanilla in it, or you can use water. It works just as good. So this is one cup, and just in case we need some more, I have more water here. So you could show them the mixture, because this will not hold together. I'm not sure how many of us, so you can see it's on the wet side. All right. I'm not sure how many of us are familiar with psyllium husk. Psyllium husk. But this is a good binder. Flaxseed is also a good binder, and you can use oat flour as well. So if you need additional fiber, you can add your psyllium husk.
Not if you need, we all need additional
Okay,
fiber.
thanks for the correction. We all need additional fiber. So because she says that, I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon in there. And I'm gonna add enough oat flour to hold this together. So before you start mixing, let me just add the psyllium husk. to it. You don't want to, yeah, you don't want to add too much psyllium husk because it can really bind your thing together. Okay. Oh, I forgot. I have some celery here. And what I did, I just I shredded it. I shredded my celery. Yeah. I shredded the celery because we love celery. And you know, we love the flavor of it in our meal. And the last thing I will add is some nutritional yeast for those who can have it. If, as I said, it's whatever you have in your kitchen. So if you have some bragg amino acid, you can add that, or some coconut amino, or if you use soy sauce, you can add that as well. Okay, so I'm gonna add my second half a cup of flour. This was 1 cup of oat flour, and this is oat flour from the kernel that I blended into flour. So I might not need any more liquid, and you have an idea of what the consistency is supposed to be like. You're gonna press it together. You can take it in your hand and squeeze it together, or you can just squeeze it to the side of the pan. If it holds together, then it will hold together when it is baked.
This is an arm workout.
Oh, and because the millet, even though the millet is cooked, it will absorb more liquid. So you don't want this mixture to be too dry, all right? So this mixture at this point is about the same consistency as the oat burger was after you added added it to the water. So this is what we're looking for. And now we are going to make the burgers and put them in the oven. And what I'm gonna ask you to do is to send us pictures, or no, take pictures and show them to us next week. How about that? Take pictures and show them to us next week of what your burgers look like. We are waiting for that, anxiously waiting for that. All right, so here we go again, and we're gonna make, oh, so you can see, sorry. We're gonna make our burgers, and what we did, we made some ahead of time.
Because we're professional.
Yes, we made some burgers on Friday so that we could show them to you today.
I'm gonna try to redeem myself with these burgers.
Oh yeah,
Try to
oh
make it-
yes, that one looks really nice.
Try to keep up with my mom here.
Yes, it looks nice.
She's had lots of practice.
Yeah.
The
That
key is
true.
the key is to use the back of the spoon and smooth the top so that it looks nice.
Yes. All right, and we're not gonna finish this, but you get the idea. We're also watching the time.
Mhm.
So because we have some that we did before, I'm gonna, yes, please, so we can plate them. You're gonna put both on the same, the other one too. No, I have one here. And what you can do now with your burgers, you can make a nice sauce to go with that. If you're having them as a sandwich, like a burger sandwich, then you can make like a cashew sauce if you're eating cashew, or or just a regular white sauce or black sauce, and have that with your burgers. This one, then you can add some lettuce. If you're having a burger as a meal, my recommendation is that you still have your bowl of salad. That way, on your burger, you can have the sauce, whatever sauce you make, like in our case, a cashew sauce, and your burger. And you don't have to worry about doing fruits and vegetables together like persons would normally put tomatoes with their burgers. You don't have to worry about that because you would have had your salad by itself. And it's best to eat your salad by itself because it digests first. That's the first thing that's going to digest. All right, so I'm gonna stop here so we can show you the finished. Yeah. Okay, so Donisha nicely plated this for us.
I tried.
Yeah, she tried. On this side, we have the chickpea one. That's the one that's more yellow. And on this side, we have the oat burger. Oh, okay, that's good. And something else that we did on Friday as well, Donisha made a cashew cream.
Guys, it's so good.
It is good, but we were hoping to put it over the burgers, but we didn't want to because
We wanted you to see what the burger looks
yes,
like.
yes, and know that you can make your own burgers once you have this. So what we've given you today is the base, right? You can use any beans with any grains and a binding agent. You can add like a quarter cup of flaxseed to your mixture. If you use wheat flour, you can add some wheat flour to it as well, and that will hold it together. We want you to be able to make your own, all right? And feel free to contact us. Send us an email if you need any other information that you did not get from our session today. Again, we thank you. Some persons are missing today, but we will ensure that they get the information. And now I turn over to Donisha. She has, I think, an announcement to make.
Those of you who were here for the health talk, right? Remember that I said I had 2 exciting announcements for you. Do you guys remember that? Who's excited for the announcement? Please give amounts. So I'm just reading the questions here. So my mom went over that, so I'm hoping that you got it. Yes, this is being recorded and the recordings will be sent out. So that's for Anne-Marie. So those of you who were here on time, you heard that I have 2 announcements for you. So the first one is the Lord placed something on my heart that I would like to share with you guys first. I haven't shared it with anyone yet. So this is going to be an online database for natural remedies. So this will include poultices, hydrotherapy, botanical medicine, herbs, nutritional therapy, exercise therapy, recipes. All those things are going to be in one place. And the reason that I wanted to do that, or the reason I believe the Lord places on my heart, is that I get messages all the time from people. What should I do for this? What should I do for that? And I really wish that there was a resource online that people could go to that they trust to get this information. So I've created something called the Health Collective, and it is an online subscription, and it's $10 a month. So for $10 a month,
Only $10?
yes, for $10 a month, you'll get access to all the information on the site. Every month, there will be new information added, and you can always send a message if you want something else to be added to the site. We'll be talking about conditions, natural remedies for those conditions as well. So this is going to be a really valuable resource. So that's the first thing. And if you are interested, which I hope you are, and excited as much as I am, I'm going to put the link in the chat right now. Like I said, I haven't shared this with anyone yet. You guys are the first. And because you guys are the first people that I'm sharing it with, I'm also going to give you a discount to one of my other courses. So once you join this Health Collective, you get access to a lot of the courses that I will be doing in the future. And one of the courses that's gonna be starting next month is called the Blood Sugar Simplified. So if you remember, I spoke about blood sugar for a health talk and some of the symptoms that people have with blood sugar. We know people have fatigue, they have skin rashes, they have irritability, they have headaches, they have trouble losing weight, they have sugar cravings, they're tired all the time, they have abdominal pain. So many things going on, and people are not thinking about their blood sugar levels. So if you join the Health Collective today, you'll get 50% off of that course. So the original price for that course is $120. But if you register today, there'll be a code and you'll get it for $60. So I really hope that you are excited for what I am doing and what DRD is doing and what the Lord is doing through us, because we really want to share this information with you. And we're trying to find different avenues to share with you. So I hope you're excited. Please click the link in the chat so that you can get access to this. And we're really happy that you joined us today. And we hope to see you again next week.
So I'm just showing you the burgers. And in those spaces, I'm now going to put the meatballs that we're gonna make from the same mixture.
Smells
as
good.
well.
Smells good.
Yes.
There's a question: how much chickpeas to cooked millet?
Okay, I used two cups of chickpea. This is before it was grounded.
Mhm.
So 2 chickpea, 2 millet, one oat flour.
These are cups now.
Yes, cups.
Yeah.
And then I added the 1 tablespoon of psyllium husk, but that was just for additional fiber.
Mhm. That we all need.
That we all need.
So thank you so much for joining us today. Actually, let me know if the link works. If anyone clicked on it, let me know if it worked. But thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you next week.
Look out for the email.
Oh, and look out for the email. Please unmute and say bye, so we know you're still there.
Hello, Denisha.
Hi.
Dr. Dodds, it's Charlene.
Oh, hi, Charlene.
Thank you so much. I'm learning a lot and really enjoying this course.
That's good. We're glad you're learning.
Yes, I didn't cook along because I have to see you do it first. That's how I function. I have to see you do it and then I'm able to now do it. So that's how I
Okay.
function. But anyhow, she said 2 cups of chickpeas to how much millet?
To 2 cups of millet.
Okay, and 1 cup of oat flour.
Yes.
Okay then.
All right.
Thank you so very much and look forward
You're
to seeing you
welcome.
by God's grace. Thanks,
God
Sister
bless.
Rosetta, and have a good afternoon. Blessings.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. We'll see you next week at 1 o'clock for another cook along.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.